What is going on, everybody? Welcome into Cash It. I'm Howard Bender. Adam Ronis here by my side. What's up, Ro? Oh, baby, right? We get a little breather here from some football. You got 2 weeks in between the conference championships and the Super Bowl, so gives us a little bit of flexibility today.
Certainly does. It's obviously a good time to start preparing for fantasy baseball. If you haven't, obviously still full swing in NBA and betting on a nightly basis. So there's never really a break, but yes, a little bit of a hiatus from football for now as we gear up for the Super Bowl and all the millions of player props and crazy props that will be available for us.
Well, I mean, the props are utterly ridiculous, and we do the big game contest over at fantasyalarm.com. You guys can go to fantasyalarm.com/big game. It's a free contest. It's a mixture of novelty props and player props from the Super Bowl, and $250 in cash for first prize. Second prize, full year subscription over at fantasyalarm.com. Third place, 3-month subscription over at Fantasy Alarm. So everybody loves their props. Do you guys, I mean, are you, you do the show over at the Better Sports Network, and forgive me for not being able to listen, Adam, but some genius thought that it would be great for our shows to be on the exact same time. And so, do you guys have that, football mandate still over there? Are you able to sneak in a little bit of non-football talk?
Yeah, we do a lot of NBA. Sometimes we do an hour of NBA a day, usually in the second hour, looking at DFS player prop slates. So yeah, there's no mandate, pretty flexible on that.
Okay. That's good. That's good. I mean, we still have to kind of touch on it over at SiriusXM. We're kind of trickling out certain things, like every day we've done like a position comparison. Hurts versus Mahomes, McKinnon versus Sanders. We do like that whole thing. But I'm super stoked to be like driving in some fantasy baseball content, especially because the Fantasy Alarm Draft Guide, the MLB Fantasy Baseball Draft Guide, dropped today. It is there on fantasyalarm.com/MLB Draft Guide, one word, and it is free, everybody. It costs nothing. You just have to have an email address registered over there at fantasyalarm.com and go check it out. I mean, articles are already out for league-specific strategies, draft strategies, sleepers, busts, rookies, all the major standards that you have. Plus, between now and opening day, we are piling out more content, more and more. We're doing, some specific position-specific articles and talking about the depth of each position. I mean, just go and check it out. It doesn't cost you anything to do it. fantasyalarm.com/MLB Draft Guide. Or you can just go to fantasyalarm.com, and it's right there in the top of the menus for you, so you can check all of that out. But I mean, I'm super stoked, man. I'm pumped to do the mock draft army. You're in the middle of this. Was it Draft Master? Not Draft Masters. That's RT Sports. Was it Draft Champions draft over at the NFBC?
Yes, it's a 15-team league, 50 rounds. You set your lineup each week. You can change offense on Friday. Pitchers are set earlier in the week. So it's great prep. That's really kind of where I really start to immerse myself. And, you're kind of doing research as the draft is going on, remembering things from last year. So it's usually the way I start my prep, and did pretty good last year. I think I had like a top 3 finish in a couple. I think like 4 or 5 last year. So in the middle of the first one now. Usually once that one wraps up or gets near the end, start a second one. So about halfway through right now. So I'm still kind of in the early stages of, my baseball prep, not really fully where I need to be yet. I don't think I'm ready to do like a draft today, but you got to get started somewhere and kind of start figuring out plans. So I like to just jump in, and I think actually the first one I did last year was the best one. It finished highest, which is very weird because I was the least prepared for it. So I guess sometimes the initial instinct is right, or could have gotten lucky. I don't know. Spencer
or you
Strider.
just you overthink it a little bit too much, and instead of just kind of going with the your gut instinct.
Plus,
So
the ADP changes as you go along. Guys get pushed up, guys get pushed down. So maybe players you were getting early, the price goes higher and you don't get them. But, a lot of times too, it's where you draft. Maybe one draft you're picking top 5, the other one late, different. There's so many factors, but I think it's like the best prep, and you're kind of doing research as you go. This one is a 4-hour clock. They have ones that are 2 or 1. You can do them at once. So whatever works best for you.
definitely looking to jump in on that, especially with the fact that I'm probably going to be paring down other leagues as we kind of move closer and closer to it. So I have like my first incantation of fantasy baseball rankings up there on fantasyalarm.com. It is part of the draft guide. So we got them for free. And listen, those are my rankings. They're kind of loose right now. I expect a lot to change here and there, just because so much is still to happen. I mean, we haven't even pitchers and catchers haven't even reported yet. And there are players being projected for numbers that I can't see them actually even achieving. So lots of stuff that it's going to be very fluid. And, obviously I update my rankings. How do you go about doing a draft champions? How are you drafting 50 rounds without your own personal rankings? Is it just based off of ADP and gut instinct?
No, it's just, what I kind of feel the player is going to do. I mean, the ADP is just a guide. But in these drafts, you'll see I think guys get really pushed up that they might not be ranked accurately. Again, because it is early, there are some players that are buried that all of a sudden have jobs now. So right. It's just kind of a feeling out process. And, you have your initial thoughts. And then as you're doing the research, something could change. You might go, you know what? I'm too high on this player. I'm too low on this player. So that's why I like doing these to kind of figure things out.
And how many are you going to do?
3 or 4, probably.
3 or 4 of these. You're going to do other best ball drafts, or are you going to do any of the mock drafts that I'm going to put together?
Yeah, I'll jump in the mock drafts. I really don't do the best ball stuff. I don't know. Maybe I will. I'll see.
I'm not forcing you to. I'm not a huge best ball fan. I mean, I get it. I get why people do it. To me, it's the lazy man's fantasy. I mean, I don't have to make lineup decisions. Oh my God. Like when you're doing draft champions here, you're going 50 rounds, but I mean, like you have no information at right now, and you're drafting a roster that's deep enough to withstand injuries.
Not always.
Not always. I mean, no, not always. Obviously, yes. If the asteroid that starred in the movie Armageddon actually hit your fantasy baseball team, no, you probably wouldn't be able to. But come on, more often than not, you're probably drafting a team off of this at over 50 rounds. You're probably drafting yourself enough depth that, injuries aren't going to kill you.
It depends. There are some times that you do not have, you're not able to even put forth the full roster. I know it did happen last year. Especially too, if some of the guys you take late don't make the majors I mean, you need a lot of luck to go your way, even with 50 rounds, because there's so many injuries in baseball that it could play a role.
As you look at your draft board and as it's going, because we'll talk about your team here in just a second, but just from from like the bird's eye view, the view from 50,000 feet, and you're looking at this draft board. Yeah, I get it, right? I mean, we already talked last week about you drafting Emmanuel Clase with your second pick because, there's no roster moves, there's no waivers or anything like that. So you want to make sure that you lock down that closer. Are there any, were there any kind of glaring, you don't have to out anybody or whatever. Were there any glaring things that you were like, man, I would never in a million years have drafted that guy at that spot? Or better yet, were you like looking around because you are right now, if this is accurate, you are 25 rounds through. So you're halfway done. with this draft, or you're in the 25th round, you've seen enough where you're like, oh shit, that guy. Yeah. That was a really great pick. Anything like really stand out to you too much?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some good pitchers coming off bad years that are going late that are not bad buys at this point. Some hitters as well. I think this guy is starting to rise though, but Will Myers going to Cincinnati. I know health has been an issue, but man, that park, I kind of like that. He went around 15. So I thought that was a pretty good buy there. Like John Gray in round 13, I really like. We saw he went to Texas last year, performed well, did have some injuries, but it's a pretty good park. So like that. So yeah, there's a couple late. And then of course it's speculating for closers late. You saw a couple in round 17, Evan Phillips. Will he close for the Dodgers? Dylan Floro, Trevor May, who could close in Oakland. I mean, that team's just a disaster. I kind of like Justin Turner in round 17. He's going to Fenway now.
You love Justin Turner.
I do. I mean, the guy's a flat out great hitter, but I know the power was down last year, but it could go up a little bit. Remember too, he's probably going to DH. He's been playing third base a lot. So yeah, he's 38, but he had 278 the last 2 years, and it's hard to find batting average late. So I think you can get, if he can hit 280 again, I mean, the counting stats should be pretty good. Of course it's health, but if he's going to DH, that's really going to benefit him. So, and you're seeing guys who were hurt last year. You're getting at cheaper prices. A guy like Jorge Polanco now in round 11. He had a lot of injuries last year. Max Muncy. People might have forgot, but if you look at Max Muncy, what he did the last 2 months, he bounced back. I was not interested because he had that elbow issue, and I think it clearly bothered him for 4 months. And I guess he played through it, but he really rebounded in a big way. So, there's some injury discounts, and then some guys who underperform going late. And then it's really the speculation for closers, man. Finding that, because there's so many teams right now where it's unsettled. We don't know who's going to close.
Yeah, I think that was one of the hardest things. I'm in the SiriusXM Dynasty League, and we had to trim our rosters down from I had 54 guys sitting on my roster, and they were like, you got to trim your roster down to 40 players. So I'm like, shit, man, I got to cut 14 guys out of here. And it ended up, I had to cut a bunch of middle relievers who I had, who were, part-time closers at one point or speculative at another point. And so, you throwing out names like that. What'd you say? You said Evan Phillips was a name. I was looking at the draft board here. Carlos Estevez is another guy who, kind of bounces in and out of that. And just, it's kind of funny. So guys who I've actually had to already dump. So that's always the worst. I mean, for a draft and hold situation here, that's the toughest part. I mean, getting those saves. So I can definitely understand why you would draft a Class A that close up to the top. Really, I mean, I'm just looking at some of these names that are just going through the list, and it is it's pretty grotesque, actually.
Yeah, and this is 15 teams too. So I want to get that one solid guy that I know has the job outside of injury, and then you're going to have to piece together the rest. You're going to have to get a couple setup men that maybe work their way into the job during the year. But, if you get that one guy who gives you 30 to 40 saves, it at least puts you hopefully in the middle of the pack. And if you can hit on another one, then at least you can be in the top 5 potentially.
Yeah. All right. I'm with you. All right. Let's take a look at Adam's team. Well, he's a partner in this team. Shout out to Brian Ambos. What's up, Bri? Always great to see him in Tout Wars when when because he always comes and hangs out for Tout. I'm gonna be bummed that I'm not gonna be there this year. Hey, do you want to? I need you to swap leagues with me, Adam.
I'll see if I can.
I appreciate that, man.
As long as I'm available, I will do it. You know that.
I appreciate that very much. Very, very much. We had this conversation right before we started recording. But let's take a look at it. Team Ronis / Ambos. Acuna, you picked 3rd overall in a 15-teamer. I gotta tell you, man, I don't know if it's more brutal to be on the end or in the middle in a 15-teamer. These drafts can be Absolutely bonker. What do you prefer? You prefer to be on the ends, or you prefer to be in the middle on a 15-teamer?
Right now, top 5 looks good, or the back end compared to the middle. That's from what I've seen so far.
Okay. Okay. I like it. Makes sense. Third overall. So Turner and Ramirez went first too. You guys took Acuna, then Clase, like we said. I think we talked about Lindor last week on the episode. You grabbed him in the third round. I love that. His next season back here with the Mets, I expect a bigger year. Schwarber, love him. Crazy, right? Schwarber. He's really just kind of blossomed into this unbelievable player. And now with the banning the shift, how great is that? Like Turner on first, Schwarber just sitting there, and just the just big gaping holes that he's gonna have to hit through while they try to hold Turner on the first base. Damn, you're excited, aren't you?
Yeah, just hope that the average is not as bad. You're going to get elite power though, so hopefully the average could go up, and hitting second might lead to some more RBIs, especially with Turner in front of him.
Yep. Luis Castillo in the fifth. I love that pick. I'm a big Castillo fan. I like him a lot. I love him even more now that he's not in Cincinnati. Jose Abreu. Did you grab Jose Abreu in the sixth round because everybody was running out of first baseman, or were there other guys there that you were considering for that kind of power?
No, we didn't see a lot of power from Abreu last year. I just think that he's going to a better spot now, going to Houston, short porch there in left field. Another guy, a lot of average, and his StatCast numbers were really good last year. Average exit velocity, expected batting average, max exit velocity, hard hit percentage, X slugging, all like in the top 90th percentile. Batted 304. Remember, everything went wrong for the White Sox last year.
Everything went wrong.
And he only had 15 home runs. I'm not saying he's going to hit 25. I'll take 20. I would love 25. But I think the runs and RBIs are going to be really high in that Houston lineup. And the average, he had 304 last year. So, getting batting average early is pretty important, especially, had Schwarber there. So that's going to hurt the batting average a little bit. So, I just think Abreu is a little undervalued right now. I know he's older, but he's really not showing any signs of slowing down. He's 36, but going to Houston in that lineup, man, I think he could put up some really good numbers this year. So liked getting him there. In that round, there wasn't a lot that I love there. Wander Franco went after Kenley Jansen, wasn't going to take a second closer. Xander Bogaerts, so I don't love moving to San Diego. He has good average, but he's not going to hit for big power. I know Pasquantino I do think is interesting, but I still like Abreu a little bit better. But we did see good things from Pasquantino last year, good walk rate. It comes down to I think the Astros lineup is better than Kansas City and Pasquantino not as much experience, but he had 295 last year. He had a good hard hit rate. He had an 11.4% strikeout rate and an 11.7% walk rate. That is just phenomenal. So I think he could be good, but I'll take Abreu in a better Houston lineup.
I can dig that. I can definitely dig that. Going to be hitting, a lot of RBI opportunities for Abreu this year. A lot of RBI opportunities. You go catcher next, Wilson Contreras. So here we go. So you've got the top outfielder in Ronald Acuna. You've got a high-end closer in Clase. You've got, in my opinion, a high-end shortstop in Lindor. Strong power outfield from Schwarber. You got a good, solid SP1 in Luis Castillo. Now you get yourself I would say, let's just let Abreu top 7, 8 first baseman. Probably like in that area. Top 10.
Definitely top 10. He could be top 6.
All right. Take it easy, buddy.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm just fucking with you. Dude, I need a little levity in my life. My life, 2023 has been just a dog shit year already for me.
1 month in. Yeah. It happens, right?
Seriously. So what? I had to cancel my trip to New York for New Year's. We dealt with massive flooding here in Half Moon Bay. There was a shooting, two mass shootings in Half Moon Bay a couple of weeks ago. A bobcat cub bit some 5-year-old kid 2 days ago here in Half Moon Bay. I mean, it's like dog shit on top of dog shit on top of dog shit. And now one of my pups, malignant melanoma. And so, I'm going to end up dealing with all that shit. So, yeah, 2023 is a real dick you kind of year for me right now. So I'm hoping for anything better. And
well, the good news is Valentine's Day is around the corner.
Oh yeah. They asked me that on the air today. What do you like to do for Valentine's Day? I'm like, my wife and I like to eat our feelings. So we buy each other 5-pound boxes of candy, and then we sit on the couch and we eat it so much until we're so fat and gross that neither one of us even wants to get up off the couch to go have sex, let alone have sex. Like, happy fucking Valentine's Day. Fucking Hallmark bullshit holiday.
The worst.
But I digress, don't I? I do. So I go through all of this here with your team. Top outfielder, top closer, top shortstop, power, solid SP1 in Castillo, even though some people will be like, he's more of an SP2. But he's your number one starter there. You've got a great guy in Abreu. Wilson Contreras, you go to the top of the heap and the catchers right there. What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, catcher is a little bit deeper this year, but I thought that was the right spot for Contreras. Could hit 2 in that lineup. That's a really good Cardinals lineup that they have there. And we know Contreras has been a top catcher, so felt that was a good spot to get him. To get at least one solid catcher. I mean, again, a lot of the StatCast numbers were really good for him last year as well. And hits the ball, his hard hit rate, 48.6%. So, yeah, I mean, if you get, hopefully the average can be a little bit better. He's a catcher that's going to play a lot and, could hit 20-plus home runs. So that's nice. And he did have 4 steals last year.
Yeah. You then go back-to-back starters. Logan Gilbert, who I'm a huge fan of. I love Logan Gilbert. Such a great live arm, great stuff, and developing great stuff, which is even better. And then Kyle Wright for the Braves. Now, I know you hate the Braves, and that probably drives you nuts, but, I mean, I think those are 2 of the potentially top young starters in the game right now.
Yeah, I don't care what team a player is on. I actually had every Yankees starting pitcher on a roster last year, which sucked because I'm like, I hope the Yankees lose tonight. Oh, damn, I have Cole on my team. Oh, I hope the Yankees lose tonight. Oh, damn, I have Severino. Oh, I have Taillon. Oh, I have Cortez. So, yeah, I don't care about that. But, yeah, Wright won 21 games last year. It's going to be hard for him to repeat what he did, but yeah, it's backed by a really good offense. We saw the walks get cut down. That's going to be the key. Does that continue? Because that was the one problem throughout his career. He cut his walk rate in half last year to 7.2%. Strikeout rate went up. So I don't think he'll be as good as last year, but I don't need him to be. I need him to just be, solid, like mid-3 ERAs, decent whip. And on that team, he should be in position to win quite a few games.
Then you go Harrison Bader next, which I love. I think Bader could actually lead off for the Yankees, and that would be yummy delish, especially with the rules changes in MLB and the expected boost of stolen bases. I like Bader there. Then you go Chapman in 11. And, I mean, are you just planning on a rebound from Chapman, or you were like, shit, I got to get a third baseman before I end up with nothing?
I don't worry about that. People are saying that about third base. I really don't worry about it, man. I don't think you can. That's one thing. You can't be like, well, third base is thin, I got to get someone now. If you're passing over better value, things will change. Maybe someone's available on free agency during the year at third base. And maybe you're strong at middle and corner and weak at third base. So I don't really worry about that. I think with Chapman, there was still a lot of good things in the underlying numbers. It's all about, can he rebound in the average? They are moving the fences in Toronto, but the walls will be a little bit higher. But there were still a lot of good things for Chapman. The hard hit contact was 51.2%. His strikeout rate actually went down last year. It was above 30%. in 20 and 21. It was 27.4% last year. So it's all about if his average can rebound. So I'm hoping maybe he could get to 250. I mean, that would be fine. It's better than the 229 he gave. So if that average
who the hell leaves Oakland to go to Toronto and then hits worse?
Yeah, I mean, I could be. Is it the first year with the new team type thing? I don't know, man. I mean, he had 210 though in Oakland in 2021, 229 last year, 240 career hitter. I mean, the batting average of balls played was kind of similar to his career numbers, slightly below. It was 277, career numbers 290. I mean, he does hit a lot of fly balls, so you're always gonna have a lower BABIP if you're hitting that many fly balls. So, but the hard hit rate was way up, so there was some bad luck there. I'm hoping that he can hit 240, 250, but you're probably going to project 230, unfortunately. But so that's the one thing, and I've said it, like that's the one thing I have to be more cognizant of. I think we get so enamored with power. Oh, this guy hits 30 home runs, and then the batting average is lower. So the batting average could be somewhat of an issue here. I mean, with Schwarber and Chapman potentially. Acuna's kind of his average differs year to year. We've seen him hit really well and then seen low average. I mean, last year, I just don't think he could drive the ball. I mean, he had 266. I don't think that's him, though. I think he even admitted it after. So I think the power is going to be back. It didn't affect his stolen bases. He had 266 last year. He hit 283 and 21, 2020, only 250. But again, you're talking 46 games, 280, 293. So, he's shown the ability to hit 280, 290 before. So I'd say he's a 275, 280 hitter. So that's fine. I mean, you would prefer 300 with your early pick, but so there could be some batting average issue there.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, you can't dominate in every category right from the start, can you?
No.
Well, I guess you could.
Not in a competitive 15-team league most of the time. Holy shit. I just turned around and Boston is beating the Nets 37-9. Good thing I got no props in that game.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. All right, let me let's roll through here some more. Brady Singer, innings eater, Kansas City doesn't get destroyed, but not your favorite guy. Tyro Estrada to handle some second base work for you there. Lourdes Gurriel, what did you said something last week about Lourdes Gurriel? I can't remember what it was now, but yeah, I'm surprised to see him on your team.
He had off-season wrist surgery.
That was it.
Because he only hit, I think, was it 4 home runs last year? I was like, wait, what the hell is going on? This guy's always been a good power hitter. So, yeah, he had left wrist surgery, and it bothered him throughout the year. So I think that is why we saw the power down. And, a lot of times we know guys are hurt, and they try to play through it. Not everyone goes on the IL. So he also had like a hamstring strain, but yeah, I mean, going to Arizona now, going later than he usually goes. A guy that did hit for good average last year, despite the lack of power, did have 32 doubles as well. But I think he could bounce back. So that's why we saw a huge drop in home runs for him. So they do expect him to be healthy. And again, this was outfielder 4, I think, at this point.
Yeah. Fourth outfielder.
I mean, outfield in a 15-team league where you got to start 5 and then you have utility. Outfielder gets thin really quick. It is if you can, it is advisable to get a few outfielders early. It drops off.
It does. It definitely does. It's been like that for a few seasons now. Actually, there's like a continental shelf. You're like, yeah, outfield. Then all of a sudden you get somewhere around like the 5th or 6th round. And you're like, where the hell did all the outfielders go? So I can imagine in a 15-teamer when you're sitting there and you're staring at Lourdes Gurriel in the 14th round, being like, yeah, all right. I mean, listen, that's a pick that's worth that kind of a speculative ad. It really is. You've got another one a little further down, which I talked about before. So I'll hustle through the rest of your roster here. Tyone in Chicago now. Ezekiel Tovar. for Colorado. You're going to take a shot on the kid, see what he does. Edward Cabrera, we saw some really good stuff out of him, in very short stint with Miami last year before he got hurt. So we'll have to see about that. Jesse Winker, a return to the National League Central, and he's going to get a much more favorable ballpark in Milwaukee. That's I like that ad there as well in the 18th round. Brandon Hughes in the 19th, and then here you go in the 20th. You go Spencer Torkelson. Again, like one of the things that I thought when I was looking at the Detroit Tigers last year, I was more in on Riley Green than I was on Spencer Torkelson, but I do know that Torkelson has great power and he can be a really strong contributor. I think one of the big problems that we saw last year was he and Riley Green were like feeding off of each other in the spring, and Riley Green fouls a ball off his foot, breaks his foot, misses like the first couple of months of the season, and Torkelson, a man alone on an island there in fucking Detroit, had nothing. He was like sitting there, bottom part of the lineup, no protection, struggled out of the gate, and never really put it together. But I think there's enough talent here on Torkelson to want to make that speculative ad here. I said it to you. I was like 20th round. It's like a free pick. It's not a free pick in a 50 rounder, but it's a low enough speculative ad that, he doesn't have to do much to kind of return value for you here.
Yeah. It's a prospect pedigree, and this happens, right? Everyone gets excited. They have a bad year up. We don't want him anymore. Who's the next hot prospect that will push up the board? So it takes time. Detroit, man, things don't go right for them. They're moving in the fences too. He hit more fly balls in the second half, hit more line drives in the second half. Still not like, you don't see it in the surface stats. The numbers weren't great, but the hard hit rate up. So maybe he started to make some adjustments there. So I think that's a corner infielder for us. So yeah, I'll definitely take the shot with the prospect pedigree there in round 20.
Logan O'Hoppe at catcher in the 21st. Jose Urquidy, Edward Olivares, and then, look at that. You double down on your Mets. You grab lefty Jose Quintana in the 24th round. And so you're 2 picks away or 1 pick away from your 26th round pick or your 25th round pick. And I tell you, man, at first glance, again, just kind of doing a first blush here, I don't mind this squad at all, Adam. I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with what we have so far. We got some power, some speed. Again, average could be an issue. And the pitching's pretty solid. Got the one steady closer. So take a couple shots at some other relievers and see if 1 or 2 of them can work their way into saves.
I wish you nothing but the best of luck in this, Adam.
Thank you. I feel that positive vibes coming from you.
Do you see? There it is. There it is. I love the positive vibes. All right. So, folks, check it out. Fantasy Alarms Draft Guide. Well, Adam, when are you going to be ready to do your rankings? Like, at what point do you feel that you're ready to do it? Because I'll be honest with you. I did not feel ready to release my rankings here on February 1st. I think that it's a tough, I'm not going to discount my rankings. I just know that these rankings are going to probably look significantly different in a month's time.
Yeah. Look, I think it's good to just do it. If you're going to be drafting, and then you can adjust as the spring starts. That we talked about it last week too. I'm just glad that we do get a full spring, because maybe that's why it's been harder the last couple of years to kind of find the late values. Because Carlos Rodon was a big one a couple of years ago, and it was because I read an article and saw his velocity in the spring, and I was like, wow. Always health is a factor, but he made some changes with mechanics. He was throwing harder. And that guy was like, I don't know, 20th round or later. So I made sure to get him on every team, and that worked out. So I think that's going to be the big thing, is seeing the spring, seeing some of those changes, velocity up, pitch mix change. That's going to be important here in February. But yeah, I think it's about a good time to start putting the stuff together.
Okay. Well, what do you think? When are your rankings going to be ready? Come on, I need to know.
When is when is it going to be set up?
It's already set up.
Is it? I checked the other day. It wasn't. It is set up now?
Oh, it should be. It should be. You could just put them on an Excel spreadsheet like I did and say, "Hey, motherfuckers, someone upload this shit for me."
Oh, I usually enter them myself.
I know. Do you want to enter them yourself, or do you want to put them on a spreadsheet and have somebody else upload them for you?
Um,
What would be easier for you?
Probably me to do it.
Okay.
You think it's not? You think it's easier to just do the Excel sheet and send it to someone?
I mean, for me, yeah. I mean, it's just, going through.
I guess I'm so used to doing the NFL rankings every week for like 18 different positions.
Right.
The one
right,
thing,
but it's like when you're typing the name in and you're waiting for it to like autofill.
Sometimes it takes forever, man. And you have to go back and delete it. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this thing? The worst part is the quarterbacks, kickers, and defenses are the same for every PPR, and you still have to do it.
Yeah.
That's a tech issue that they still haven't solved, but that's another story.
It's a story for another time, indeed. I'll make sure that it's all set up, and we'll get you to throw those rankings down there in the Fantasy Alarm Draft Guide. Again, fantasyalarm.com/MLB Draft Guide is the URL to go to. You can just go to fantasyalarm.com, and you'll see all the info right there on the homepage for you to get over there. Again, 100% free. So get yourself in on that. Adam's high stakes room is wide open. He's got his articles up there as well. I've got some stuff up there as well. So let's go, baby. Fantasy baseball. I'm super psyched. Super psyched. You know why I'm super psyched? I'll tell you why I'm super psyched. As we move here from baseball to basketball. So yesterday on the Fantasy Alarm Show, John Impemba joins us to talk about the DFS slate, right? So, what is it? 6 games out last night? Not a big slate. That tends to be the slate where Impemba, Grande, those guys doing the playbook really shine. They hit it nicely. So I'm listening to Impemba talk yesterday, and we talked about LeBron. We talked about Quickly being such a great value. We talked about the Hornets and what kind of a situation they were in. Names like Jalen Brunson thrown around there. Brandon Ingram was a topic of conversation for some late night hammer. He like inspires me to put this DFS lineup together. I'm like, inspires me, and then even sends me another lineup and says you should try this one. So I played them both, and both lineups did really, really well. The problem was everybody fucking did well in the NBA last night. Vukovic had 60-odd DK points. Like a whole ton of guys that you were just like, what the fuck just happened here?
Yeah, Jokic had a triple-double. LaMelo Ball had a triple-double because I saw a couple slips that people played.
I had Melo in one of my lineups.
Yeah, Kawhi had 33. Brunson had a big night. So it kind of happens sometimes. Unfortunately, it sucks on a small slate to have a lot of guys who go off, and then you don't have the right one. So I think even Jamal Murray had Jamal Murray had 32, 5, and 6.
Dude, I don't know, man. I was just following my lineup, and I'm looking at my lineup, and I'm like, yeah, these guys are fucking killing it. I am so psyched about this right now. And then everything just exploded. It just completely exploded. I was like, damn, man, I couldn't believe it. So like the one night I play some NBA DFS, and that's what happens. Impemba gives me all these great plays, but yet everybody was a great play at some point or another last night. So I'm gonna have to. He threw out. He was 3 for 3 on his props that he threw out to us. One of them was LeBron over 7.5 boards with what he was doing. I can't remember what the other 2 props were, but he was 3 for 3 on the props. I probably should have done that instead of playing DFS. So, Adam, I come to you for NBA prop talk.
Yeah, well, tonight.
Oh, are you back on your streak yet, or what?
Yeah, doing better. Um, yeah, so tonight I'm sweating something now. I played John Morant triple double at plus 850 at halftime. 11 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. So hopefully that'll cash. But yeah, I mean, Embiid's been killing it. That's a guy to look at. He's got 20 points at the half against the Magic. Jason Tatum's been killing it. I think his rebound prop was 7.5, and he had 6 in the first quarter. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander once again. Alperen Sengun for the Rockets, because they've been shorthanded. He's been crushing it. They have raised his numbers. A prop that I like a lot lately is Draymond Green, rebounds and assists. It's been sitting at 15.5. The Warriors have changed their starting lineup. They've gone small. So Kevon Looney comes off the bench. Draymond plays center, so it allows him to get more rebounds. He's a guy that, doesn't shoot much, distributes the basketball. So he's someone to look at as well. Lauri Markkanen's been great this year. Probably going to go to the All-Star game in the running for most improved. So I would look at him. The Knicks, Julius Randle has been crushing it, especially on the boards. His scoring's gone down a little bit now that they're kind of healthy. Jalen Brunson has been a great pickup for the Knicks. John Morant's another guy I mentioned, looking at his triple-double. I would also gave out his rebounds and assist total on the playbook today. I think it was 15.5, and he's got 8 rebounds, 7 assists at the half. So he needs one more, and that cashes. So that should happen early third quarter. He's been rebounding more because Steven Adams is out. Steven Adams is like a beast under the basket. He's been out. And the last 2 games, John Morant had 10 rebounds. This is I'm sure John Morant and the guys listening. He's 6'3". He's small. He's not a rebounder. They list him at 6'3", 174. Okay. He's a great player, but he's not someone that you expect to get rebounds. Since Steven Adams, I think the last 2 games, he had 10 rebounds against Minnesota, 10 rebounds against Indiana, and he has 8 at the half against Portland. So he averages on the season 5.7 rebounds. And in the month of January, he averaged 4.8. So all of a sudden, those rebounding numbers going up, and his assists have always been there. On the season, he's averaging 8.2 assists. So that's a number that maybe the books are a little bit slow to adjust. So it was 15.5 tonight, or 16.5. Again, it looks like it's going to cash. So that's something I'd be looking at as well. The Nick Claxton blocks came to an end. He had like a streak of at least 3 blocks and 12 straight, and then went 2 without it. Hornets, obviously, LaMelo Ball's been crushing it. Luka has been insane. Oh, the Warriors, they're pretty good. They're starting to roll now. Curry's points, Klay Thompson's points, and Giannis obviously is back. He's just on another level right now. So yeah, just some things to look at, and so those are the ones that I'm kind of looking at right now.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. As everybody knows, or you should know by now, go to pickswise.com. And Adam's got his NBA prop article over there as well. Just don't let it be Jalen Duran over 9.5 boards, dude. You know what? It's so funny. You gave that to me a couple weeks ago, and I actually forgot to bring it up on the show last week because I know how much you love when I do that to you.
Yeah, I do. How about this? So last night, Anthony Davis, right? His rebounding prop was 9.5, and I think a lot of people were on his double-double. He had 9 rebounds going into the fourth quarter, and the game went overtime. You know how many he finished with?
Give me that scenario one more time here, because I really want to make an educated guess.
He had 9 rebounds going into the fourth quarter, and then the fourth quarter and overtime. They had 5-minute overtime. You know how many rebounds he finished with?
11.
9.
Ah!
The prop was 9.5, and a lot of
come on.
And the double prop was minus 120, and he had 23 rebounding opportunities. 23, and he grabbed 9. Say when that happens, you're like, hey man, the bet was the right play. It didn't hit. I mean, dude, 9 rebounds going into the fourth quarter against the Knicks, who are like, don't really have a legit center right now with Mitchell Robinson out. I know they played Hartenstein a lot, but come on, bro. Like, you can't get 1 rebound in 17 minutes. And then I had a parlay where I had RJ Barrett to score 15 points or more. He had 13 points. He didn't play the last 12 minutes of the game. They benched him.
Why?
I don't know. I wasn't watching. I was out. And then I go to and I see, I'm like, oh, the game went overtime. I just need 2 more from Barrett. And I'm texting Fensty, why isn't Barrett playing? Because I'm looking at the box score. I wasn't watching the game. I was like, oh man, this is ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, the other night, because DraftKings has been giving out these same game parlay risk free. So you can bet what you want, but they'll give you $10 back in free bet if you don't hit. So I'm like, all right, I'll do it. And then the other night, I needed 1 point from Siakam and 1 assist from Paul to cash and fell short. I'm like, and it's not like I'm playing the 24.5, like I'm doing 20 points or more, things like that. You know, you bring it down. It's just amazing how like just you miss by like 1. It just,
dude, it's frustrating, man. It really is. When you start dropping shit like, by a half point on a prop is frustrating.
I'll drop it more.
Watching guys like
Siakam's prop the other night was 24.5. So I said, all right, I'll do 20 points or more, which he's a cinch. He scores 19. Like, come on, bro. It's like they know.
It's like they know. Well, it's funny that you say that, Adam, because the NBA and whether or not that's rigged is going to actually lead, or at least the betting and the props and stuff like that. Because, it's like they know. It's like they know he's going to be benched in the fourth quarter. Is going to take us over now to the gridiron, back to the NFL. So, Adam, it's not really, I mean, listen, I could sit here and ask you Super Bowl questions right now, but I mean, I think you are in the same camp as I am in the sense that I'll worry about the Super Bowl next week. I'm not looking at fucking practice reports and giving a shit that somebody didn't practice this Wednesday. Show me next week on Wednesday, and then maybe I'll care.
Agree.
Okay, beautiful. So I want to ask you, did you see the whole thing about Arian Foster on the Macrodosing podcast?
I saw a headline, but I didn't hear the exact comments. And then my friend texted me something. Wait, was he joking though?
I don't know. Like, okay. I only saw the little clip. And here's the thing. I'm not gonna use this as like clickbait and go listen to a fucking podcast that I don't usually listen to, because I'm not a big fan of the Barstool Sports guys. That's just, that's me. But here's the thing. Public perception is everything. Everything. And if you've got this one little clip here that Arian Foster is saying that he received a script on the first at his locker, when he got to his locker on the first day of training camp, there was a script for him to look through that mapped out the entire NFL season. And I mean, listen, I think it's bullshit. I do. I think Arian Foster, I don't know what his financial situation is, but let's face it. This is not a guy who is being given broadcast jobs. I don't see him, receiving any kind of coaching work or anything like that. I have no idea what Arian Foster's world is like, but I'm willing to bet that he got paid a big fucking chunk of money to turn around and actually say that, because with gambling being legalized throughout the United States, that statement there, and because that there are people out there that are like, oh, see, I told you it was fucking rigged. The refs are knowing in on it and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Now, the tweet itself had an amazing thread of like just, comments from everybody. What the Cowboys look like, with their when they read their script. What Matt Ryan, when he saw the script rewrites at halftime of the Super Bowl. I mean, so there's like some really funny shit there from a humor standpoint, but from a reality standpoint, how many people are now looking at that clip and believing that the NFL is rigged?
Oh, I'm sure people are, especially if they thought that and they want their thought to be backed up. I don't know. I saw something that said that he said it sarcastically. I didn't listen, so I don't know. Couldn't hear the tone. I don't know if that's backing off now. So, yeah, it's tough to know. If it is rigged, how come they don't want the Cowboys to win, bro? Come on. You think they don't want the Cowboys to win if it was rigged? What did they want them to?
Nobody wants the Cowboys to do anything. Everybody hates the Cowboys, dude. Come on, you know it. Again,
how come they didn't want Brady to go out as a winner?
They did well because they did him the way they did fucking Dan Marino. Do you remember Dan Marino's last game?
But Marino didn't even win a Super Bowl.
I know, but it's like, come on. Is Dan Marino not an iconic quarterback?
Yes.
Okay. His last game was a 62-7 loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, does that really matter though?
Well, I mean, you want to go out on top. You don't want to go out like, that.
But I'm saying,
like, people were like, oh shit, you fucking see Marino? Like, wow, man, that dude stay on for too long. Threw for 95 yards in a playoff game.
But if it was scripted, wouldn't they want Brady to go out as a 45-year-old winner and cement his legacy?
No, because I think they
are they ready to pass the torch to Mahomes or Hurts?
I think their plans got screwed from last year. I think Brady coming back, like Brady retiring and then unretiring, I think that they might have had to like throw the entire script out and have to rewrite like a whole bunch of shit.
I guess so.
I don't know. Maybe not everybody likes. Maybe Tom Brady like fucked the script writer's sister. Never called her again after that. I don't know.
And Giselle found out.
Yeah. It's a very big possibility. I just think that I think it's more, it's just, to me, it's just problematic. It's problematic because you need to somebody needs to get ahead of this and like really turn around and like dig deep on these comments and make sure, because there's a lot of money at stake. And the last thing you want to do is like have people really concerned that it's fixed.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it, especially with the sports wagering becoming legal in more and more states.
Yeah. I mean,
it's rigged when I lose, I can tell you that.
I mean, what is this, Highlight? The dog track? Is it aqueduct? Harness racing?
Wrestling?
That's pure entertainment right there. You're not a wrestling guy, are you?
Not like I used to be, man. I just don't have the time, but I used to watch it a lot.
When did you used to watch it? Like the last time that you were like into wrestling, when was the last time you watched it?
I mean, I watch it here and there. I actually did watch WWE Raw a couple weeks ago. It was like the 30th anniversary, and I saw The Undertaker was going to be there, so I said I have to watch. So that was like the first time that I watched a whole show in a long, long time. I would say probably early 2000s. And then once I started doing the Monday night show with Lisa Ann, I kind of stopped. I didn't record it anymore. So probably 10 plus years ago is when I really stopped religiously. I kind of follow it from afar, but I was even asking Fence the other day, because he's a big, like, is it good anymore? Like, is it good right now? Because like when I turned it on, I didn't feel any juice.
Right. Yeah. I mean, for me, I mean, it's even earlier than that for me. Like I was, as like a 12, 13-year-old, 14-year-old kid, I was into it. Right. I mean, back then it was, it was Hulk Hogan right after Rocky III, when he beat the Iron Sheik, they just because not only did you have the WWE, but you also had the NWA and the AWA, which they later turned into the WCW. And so like, that was when I was like super into it. I went to the first WrestleMania. I was there at Madison Square Garden. I forced my dad to get me tickets to that and take me. And I was into it there. I think it was like the late 90s when I guess, it was like Hulk Hogan and those guys did the whole NWO, the New World Order thing with, well, he used to be Diesel, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. And I was living with a guy in New York who was like always into it. So, it was like, it was on Monday night on a regular basis, and he was like crazy into it. And so I like sat and watched it and watched it there. I don't think I've watched wrestling in like at least 20 years. At least 20 years. It's, I mean, it's funny. I mean, and it's so funny too, because I see like There's a guy, Mike from Long Island, who's a big part of FA Nation, Mike Stencil, and he takes his kids and his sons are into it, and Mike is like still into it as an adult, but like I see him like go to these like conferences and like take pictures with guys like Bret Hart, Sergeant Slaughter, like these guys who are like just fucking geriatric at this point, who are like holding on to it. And it's like depressing to me.
But why? I get what you're saying, but if people enjoy it, what does it matter? Let them have fun.
No. I mean, yeah, you go do it. But these older wrestlers who are still holding on.
I mean, they're still big names, man. I mean, I know they don't. Ric Flair is still like, a big name, and he's old, and so why not?
I can't watch him. I couldn't like. I mean, that's like. It's like watching Mike Tyson at his age right now, like still showing what he's got. I mean, it's great. Like he's probably still better than a number of boxers out there because he's Mike Tyson, but he's not Iron Mike. He's like Hangover Mike.
Yeah, which is why you won't see him.
Right. Well, that's why I look at these wrestlers and I'm like, man, you guys. You got to let go at some point, man. You got to let go. Did you ever see the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke?
It was a good movie.
It was a great movie. And I'll be honest with you, man. I'm not ashamed of this. I cried at the end. I really did. I was like and Deb was like, what's going on? My wife, she's like, why, she's like, wow, that was really powerful for you. And I'm like, I see these guys and like, just constantly holding on, and we're in a business here where this is something that we see on the regular. These fucking guys who are just way past their prime and they can't let go. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, enough already. Get rid of them. I don't know.
Those guys can still play though.
What's your take on Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets?
He's got the weapons, man. He didn't have weapons in Green Bay. I know he wasn't the same, but you put weapons around him. You saw how good the Jets were, how competitive they were with no quarterback. So they just need someone who's competent. So I think he can help them. You don't want him?
I'm very conflicted.
Yeah,
I kind of don't want him because I want him to just fucking retire. Like I don't need Brett Favre 2.0.
Yeah.
Don't leave Green Bay and as this legendary QB and then come to the fucking Jets and spend a year, maybe two, with us. And it's like, you get us, into the playoffs, but do you still have what it takes to run that gauntlet and go to the Super Bowl? And I don't think he does.
Okay. That's fair.
So I don't want a quarterback just to get me to the playoffs. I think I think we can get a journeyman. I think Derek Carr can just get us to the playoffs. I want somebody who's going to be able to like really hold on and win that Super Bowl. That's what I want. I don't know if we're going to get it. This is like the shittiest free agent class for football I've ever seen for quarterbacks
and receivers too.
I haven't even looked at the receivers yet. I'm like still I'm still like, Lamar Jackson is going to re-sign with the Ravens. Daniel Jones will re-up with the Giants. And then it's like we're fighting over Jimmy Garoppolo or Derek Carr. And I don't, I mean, Jets aren't trading up to one or two to get either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. They ain't doing that, nor do I want. I don't want to like sit there and spend that kind of like future draft capital to land one of these guys when they could just end up being fucking Zach Wilson again.
I get it, man. I understand it.
You don't feel the same frustration as me.
I do. I'm a Cowboys fan, man.
You know what? I'd fucking take Dak Prescott as my QB right now.
I mean, so many Cowboy fans complain to me about Dak. I'm like, look, the reality is he's going to be there, so they just need to put more weapons around him. He's not Mahomes. He's not one of those even Hurts. He's not going to elevate players. So you need to put talent around him and then find out Gallup had like surgery. So They need to put more weapons around him.
Oh yeah, I saw that he had another cleanup procedure, huh?
Yeah. So I mean, he wasn't 100% this year. He had flashes where he made some good plays, but he wasn't good enough consistently. So they've got to put more weapons around him.
Oh yeah,
because he's going to be there.
Jim sat there just going off on the Amari Cooper deal, like letting Cooper walk.
Yeah, they definitely could have used him. I know he's inconsistent. I know he's up and down. I know that. Even this year he was. We've seen home road splits, but he's still a threat on the field. They would have been better with him. I know that.
Oh, they definitely would have been better with him. Definitely would have been better with him. All right. Well, we got a lot of shit going on here, and so I think this is a good time to just kind of put a cork in it for now. And next week when Adam and I come back, we're gonna hit you with the whole run, baby. All the props that you need to know for the Super Bowl. We'll talk novelty props. We'll talk player props. We'll talk betting the game. We'll talk about everything you could possibly want. You a big Rihanna fan there, Adam? You excited about this halftime show?
Yeah, I like her. I think she's a little overrated. I like her, but I think people treat her like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, she's fine. I mean, I'd take her home.
Well, no. No, I'm not going to get into this conversation with you. On the next episode of Cash It, what wouldn't Adam Ronis take home with him? Oh, shit. All right, that's going to do it for us here on the podcast. Big thanks to all of you guys. As always, for listening in, liking, subscribing, sharing with your friends. Turn them on to it, baby. For Adam, do you have any parting shots, any final thoughts here today?
Okay, so I'm sweating this Ja Morant triple-double.
Yeah.
He has 15 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists with 7:52 left in the third quarter. If he doesn't get another assist, I think I have to retire from sports betting, correct?
Yes, I would say that is correct.
I mean, come on, man. A plus 850, bro. And I need one assist with 7:43 left in the third quarter. Come on, Ja, let's go.
Give it to him, baby. Come on.
I gave that out on the playbook.
All right. Well, then everybody at FA Nation is in on it with you as well. So excellent. Well, you happy sweating, and I will definitely catch up with you next week. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. For Adam Ronis, I'm Howard Bender. This has been the Cash It Podcast. We'll catch you next time.